YDBT Daily, YDBT Daily, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do Talking Shit Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, and we do the Peasant Chat on Sunday morning. Today, I'm going to play you a video that is so hilarious, and it kind of encompasses how bad the pony car market is nowadays. UDRAGS. I've shown you guys many videos of UDRAGS. What is a UDRAG? Well, cars take off, do a quarter-mile hit, literally do a U-turn and race back. So it's a roll race. It's a turning, handling, braking race. It's a drag race, braking test, handling test, and a roll race all in one. And the Mustang has no competition. The Mustang is literally by itself. There is no Camaro. There is no gas-powered Challenger or Charger. So what do they put it up against? Something that Dodge half-heartedly built. Not a vetted car that has been around for many years like the Model 3 Performance. Not a vetted car like the Model S Plaid. Not a vetted anything. The first model year, the first attempt at an EV Charger weighing 5,800 pounds. And it didn't just beat the Mustang. It beat the ever-living shit out of not just the Mustang, the Dark Horse version. Oh, and the coveted God transmission 10-speed. We're going to go over that race very carefully. We're also going to see some of the comments that race and a small little post I just threw up there as we'll see what happens. And you see the mouth breathers attempt to defend the Mustang by making absolutely crazy alternate arguments. We're going to concentrate on that today and talk about whatever else pops up in the show with your questions, comments, and concerns, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly says hi to the people out there.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck. You know what doesn't suck? Pmas cold air intakes. Pmas cold air intakes are the best cold air intakes on the planet. Nothing else matters. I don't even know why the hell Alex, what's the best Pmas? Alex, what cold air Pmas? Alex, what is Pmas? D&F Performance. You can get your Pmas cold air intakes from them. You can also get a fuel system. Ford Innovations apparently is not answering our emails, so that's a concern. So we might have to start looking for alternatives that can actually ship parts out. But D&F Performance can get you anything and everything you're going to want. Wheels, tires, you name it. Get it from D&Fperformance.com. Get an Emery Cup. $1,000 purchase. Parts Farm. Used late model parts. Camaros, F-150s, cranker pallets, complete motors, drivetrains, panels, interior parts, steering wheels, wheel tires, rolling chassis, everything at Parts Farm, and they deliver. 2-Auto Solution, Rami Danan and 2-Auto Solution, the late model shop that you're going to get your car worked on if you're in Caguas, Puerto Rico. He is a Dolo shop, so shout out to Rami, Zaidan, and Belak Industries. They make great lug nuts, great wheels, and you want to match your lug nuts with your wheels because the other drug dealers are going to judge you based on your ride if you have mismatched rears only and weird VMSs. Nick, Joe Swish, Manifold 40, B. Levesh, G33, Kemzilla, Frank Donahue, Anthony, and Big Pops were the first people to say hello. Stuart, CPR, Andrew, Dixon, 1 Wait, oh my God, richprince.com. I apologize. Rich Prince, you're just the best. Oh my, I can't even spell. I can't spell today. You're going to go to richprince.com. We're going to try to get these guys stressing the hell out by buying F1320 shirts, 1320 Didio shirts, and the YDBT shirts. The Section 8 sweater is still a hot seller. All the hats. I received a couple of hats, a couple of shirts today. I'm doing a favor for somebody, and I'm going to get that stuff sent out. We got the green YDBT and Amory hoodie is badass. It fits with everything, all color clothing. We're kind of getting out of hoodie season, but you never know. And all the Amory, long sleeve, short sleeve, all the good stuff. Check them out, richmond.com. I get paid, so might as well do something that gets me paid. And you can go to every event with your 1320 Didio shirt and F1320 shirt. Good afternoon, gentlemen, says El Verga Larga, Robostop, Valley 10 Speed. Valley 10 Speed, he's been active. But Alex, Dark Horse had a Whipple. Oh my God, El Verga. I'm gonna read all those comments on Facebook. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing people defending a Dark Horse Mustang getting his dick stomped in by a first run, junk, ugly EV, oh my lord. Redbird Mustang CJM 94 GT for Andy Ali. I'm Hung Solo. Joey Reyes, Austin Maynard, Copium for your future posts. Corey Tiller, John Bonanno, Bobby Hudson, John Bailey, T. Nelson, Bondo Bird missing third as we speak. The EV Charger is probably the most rare car on the road. I've never seen one. Slow 50, AZR Anthony, Parker Performance in the house. Says, hey, yo, what's up, early chat motherfuckers? Narnia Mercado, Parker, Jasso, Boosted, Naldo, D-Rock Fox, Dad, Peter Chow, Reverend Racing, Ian Martha was in there talking that shit, getting into online arguments, bro. It's the best thing ever. Vinny by Madman, Exxon Devil Dog, Coca-Cola, Timmy T, Bryson Witt, Noise, Josh Roy, Joseph Lacey, Drake, Phil Fez, Joe Swish, YouTube Corrupt, OG, YouTube Corrupt. Shit, love seeing him here. Alexi Gomez, are you a chick? Probably not. Jill Swish, Mohammed, because I want to see nudes. You know, at this point, if you're a chick on this shit, you better show me a torta just to accept you into the Amory. It's like hazing. Randy, Carlos, Large Macchiato, Mini Bad Badman, Testa Friend, Savar Martin, and all the usual suspects. Let's get right to it. It was a good time today. It was fun. It was a bunch of fun pissing off a bunch of people. So let's go to, bam, UDRAGS. Edmonds hosts UDRAGS. Charger versus Dark Horse 10R80. Check it out.
2, 1.
Oh, he's got a little bit of a jump on the Mustang. Here we go. Come on, Mr. Dodge. Come on, Mustang.
You believe?
All right, let's pick the braking. This is a big old beast of a car. Trail it in. Easy with the throttle, a little bit of an oversteer, that's not too bad.
Look at it. It's a bus. 2 buses.
Oh, dang.
This right here is the reason the Mustang gets made fun of. It has no competition, right? Camaro's dead. Charger Challenger V8's dead. So they put it up against the heaviest, most underwhelming, first run ever, just trying stuff, and it beats a chassis that has been around since 2015, and Ford didn't do a goddamn thing. We're talking about Ford here, not an aftermarket company. Ford, an OEM. So, a second race happens, and it shows an even more telling point. So, second race happens, and they switch drivers. So, obviously, this guy's a way better driver. So, he gets in the Mustang, and he actually is, ahead by a little bit because he's a better driver. Even though the other guy beat him off the hit, he caught up at the end. Let's get to it because, okay, Charger's ahead, okay? And then by the turn, the Mustang's ahead. See, boom. By the braking area, the Mustang is ahead. But then something happens that you guys are going to absolutely love.
Trail brake it all the way to the apex. Now give it the beans.
Boom! Mustang is now ahead. But wait, not only did the Mustang lose in the drag race, in the turn, but it now gets freight trained because when you can pull on a car that is 2 cars in front of you and beat it by a car, you can't blame anything but just straight power.
That was a bit better. That's a bit better. Have I got the exit at the corner? Now here we go.
So, but he's one car behind. And look at this.
The Charger's coming.
Oh my Lord.
Oh no! Come on, Mustang. Come on, old school. I think I've got him.
It still beats it. It was ahead by a car in the turn. Got on the power early. And this 5,900 pound car. You heard that right. This is heavier than an F-150 regular cab 4x4. Unfreaking believable. So of course, I posted on Facebook. Because what else do you do? And I said, not a dud. Hashtag not a dud. Mustang Dark Horse gets its dick stomped in by a 5,800 pound piece of shit, fake sounding EV Charger. Boom. Then I post the video. Harris says, I will say we went for a test drive and it definitely passes the good daily test for sure. Sounds are whack though. 4-cylinder Mustang's better than an EV Dodge. Both gay, however. Okay. Electric versus Brian Collier. Electric versus gas. Apples versus oranges, instant torque, and shit rains versus reliable gas engines. That's debatable. That don't need speakers to sound cool. Ian Martha, all Mustang guys in the comments defending it is insane. It's the feeling. Women have feelings. Men want to be fastest and wins. And then Richard Pleacher, you sound like a beta. Did I hurt your feelings? I must have tapped on one of yours. I'm not the one calling people names. Doug Herron, 670 versus 627, 500 versus 418. Nobody is shocked that an electric car with a big power gap won. And then I posted 5,800 pounds. The Mustang's like 39 or 4. This thing is almost a ton heavier. And it beat, and they go in there, 620 foot-pounds with a direct drive. Oh, we're going to ruin a lot of people's day, even at 5,800 pounds. And then, it just, the copium is just ridiculous. And then somebody in there, I swear to God, had the gall to say, well, put a Whipple on it. It's a different story. Well, yeah, no shit. If Grandma had balls, she'd be Grandpa. It's just ridiculous when people make it up. And I had, I love it. So if you go on my Facebook page, of course it's going to win. Someone said there's a difference between fast and quick. Pretty much every gasoline production vehicle ever got his dick stomped by an electric car. No, it didn't. Not surprised. Push rod cars are still getting a challenge for the Mustangs. It's not a push rod car. Stang Mode said it would still be a win for the Dark Horse. Plaids have been stopping ice cars for years. And then, fucking dud of a car, says Jaden Bender. Embarrassing to see the Mustang as a Mustang owner. Throw a Gen 3 in there with a simple London tune, and I bet it'll shift points and lack of torque reduction gets the win. Now, that, in my opinion, is a good point. Anyway, you want to go in there and have some fun and watch them try to defend that fucking thing. Vaya con Dios. It is actually pretty funny. That's a great point because you can still say the following. Stock car with a tune, meaning mechanically stock with a tune, like a Lund tune, I think will outperform that car because it was down by a couple of cars. Extended shift points. Hey, let's put a Gen 3 up against it. A Gen 3 that costs $28,000, stock mods, and tune. Just a tune, meaning stock mechanically, but just a tune. I guarantee it'll put up a better fight than the S650 Dark Horse did. I guarantee it. And that's why I say it's a dud. You do not have the ability to do anything to it unless you just buy a Whipple. So let's say I'm going to get it. I don't care. It's the last one. There's no competition. You're just virtue signaling to people, in my opinion. You're not buying a car that is better. You are buying a car just to virtue signal that you have the latest and greatest Mustang, but it is not any better than the previous generation. And then in this little video, it proves that a half thought out, guys, the Charger is a half thought out car. It's a hybrid weird thing. You can put a Hurricane in it. You can put an EV in it. It's like, it's a Swiss Army knife. It's not really good on anything. And it destroyed a car that is the high performance variant of the S650. There's the GT, then there's the Dark Horse. That's it. The Shelby shit is persona non grata. The Shelby shit is a GT with a bunch of aftermarket goodies on it. So if you defend this car, I don't understand your thought process. You need to explain to me why you would defend the Mustang in this case. Or you could say, if you're the last one, Mustang, the last one left, why didn't you give me a better product? And you know that Ford knows that this car is in trouble when they start discounting the vehicle. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Ford discounts 2025 Mustang V8 after sales crater. Guys, it's the last one left. And it's cratering. It's because it's too expensive. No, it's because it sucks. Plain and simple. The automaker likely hopes to sweeten the deal will encourage shoppers to pony up a new Mustang. This is from Car Scoops. Classic American muscle car like the Ford Mustang aren't exactly a dime a dozen anymore. Sure, we've seen their continued popularity, but let's face it, they won't be around forever. So if you're still dreaming of one, it's time to act while the opportunity is still there. And now Ford is making it a bit easier to live that dream. You think $2,000 off of the V8 GT is going to make it enticing to buy it when you still can't tune it? When the only way to make more power with it is shoving a $12,000 blower in it? Sorry, this is not going to make people jump through hoops. Ford has just dropped some good news for prospective buyers. The automaker announced the newly ordered Mustang EcoBoost models comes with $1,000 in retail customer cash. That brings in the starting price at $30,920, which might make it a little more manageable for those who have been holding out for a more budget-friendly entry point to the pony car world. Pony car world is a modifying world. If you cannot modify the pony car, it is persona non grata. People will buy the M2 or M3. But for the enthusiasts, the real price is the V8 Power GT. The prize, the Mustang GT is offered with $2,000 in retail customer cash, Cars Direct Notes. This drops its starting price down to $44,560. Now, my brand new Gen 3 was $38,000. If I had to pay $44,000 and I got no tuning, I can afford it. It's only $7,000 more dollars. You stretch that out in a 5-year span, it's probably $60 a month, $70 a month. But if I can't fucking tune it, I got to drive it stock or throw headers in it and live with a check engine light or throw anti-foulers in there. Why the fuck am I going to buy that? And then am I going to buy a base-ass piece of shit for $44,560? Or do I want the premium with the good sound, with the Brembo wheels and the good brakes and the good wheels? $6,000, still can't tune it. So for $55,000, $60,000, I'm getting that fucking M2. Crazy. Ford didn't say why they decided to offer the discounts, but it likely has to do with the Mustang's poor sales performance. Sales dropped 36.4 in January year to year, 32 in February year to year. Through the first 2 months of the year, the automaker sold 5,100 Mustangs across the United States, significantly fewer than the 7,800 over the same year period. While shoppers welcome the $2,000 discount, it's worth mentioning that the 2025 GT is still more expensive when the 7th generation model was launched in 2024. So the 2025 is even more expensive than the 2024. What do you get for it? Nothing. An untunable car that performs exactly the same. Get ready for 2025 becoming the worst sale year for Mustang ever, eclipsing 2024's numbers of shitty sales. Ford, it's not the price. It's what you're offering for the price. You can't let us modify it. You don't have tunability. We don't want it. People like Paxton, ESS, ProCharger, all those guys, they would have sold way more kits if other tuners are able to access the file. ID1000s, 1050s, fuel systems, E85, all that shit. But nope. You guys decided to lock it up because of hacking problems. Meanwhile, Corvette Global B took 2 years to unlock, so maybe we're almost into year 2 because look, 2024 Mustang came out in late 2023. So by the time I said if by first quarter 2024 Mustang is not tunable, get ready for shenanigans. And that means 2025 is probably not going to be tunable because they don't have cross-flashing ability a la 21, 22, 23. It's going to be interesting how all that goes, but I do not see it going well. I see the Mustang disappearing. I see them going out. They're good, and this is what they're going to say. Well, the market is soft on pony cars. They don't want it anymore. No, they don't want your pony car. They don't want what you are offering. I went to TX2K, and there's a whole league of BMW cars, X58. And there's M2s, there's big G80, I think, M3s, and those were going deep 8s. A brand new, big, beautiful sedan, deep 8s. A90 Supras going 7s. And I'm like, it's not the price. It's what you're offering for the price. So keep doing it because people like BMW love it. It makes people look at other car brands, and the Americans that would normally buy a brand new Mustang to get after it on brand new looking shit, if it's tunable, it would have sold at least another 2,000 or 3,000 units easily. But no, you guys decided to, I don't know, be greedy, or probably the biggest mistake of your life with the Mustang was going to be the lack of tuning, not the price, because the entry price is $44,000 for a base model. And if you're going to go racing, you're going to buy a base model. Only Puerto Ricans are the weird ones that buy performance pack models to go drag racing. It's always good because you got to take all that shit out. Yeah, the Mustang did not even reel it in. You understand? The Mustang got reeled in by an EV. EVs usually have like a flat torque curve, and they're like, okay, that's it. That tells me this Mustang just doesn't pull, doesn't accelerate, doesn't do anything. It was ahead by a car and a half, and it got beat. Unreal. It got beat bad. So, in my opinion, for those of you that keep saying the price, it's not the price, guys. It's the ability to make it your own. It's the ability to tune it. It's not anything to do with the price. So we'll talk about that, and many more things, and questions, comments, concerns. Excuse me. I haven't talked all day, and this is what happens when you haven't talked all day and warmed up your vocal cords, because I'm just here with Tony hanging out. Wait until RTR gets their hands on that GT. Microwave won't stand a chance. See, people that think that RTR is like Roush is just laughable to me. At least Roush throws a blower on it and has been 9s with a blower. Whipple is not, they don't make cars. They don't make a specific car brand. They just make superchargers. So Roush takes a car, builds a supercharger for that car, or works with Magnuson, gets a different lid, whatever you want to call it. The fact of the matter is you can buy a Roush Mustang, which I've always thought were great if you actually have driven a Roush RS3, a Gen 2 Roush RS3, go shit, badass. And Gen 1 Roushes, some of them came with the illuminator option, but I'm not sure if they're high compression illuminators or low compression illuminators. Lebanon Ford out there selling an RTR package for $80,000. But Alex, wasn't the new 350 with a BMR suspension though? Exactly. So I am gloating. I'm not gonna lie. And why am I gloating? Because I am in the aftermarket field. And when somebody thinks that they can, this is a good one. If Ford thought that people were buying their cars because it was a badass car, I think they're pretty mistaken. The S550 was such a departure from the S197 that people loved it. But the further you got into S550, the more people went backwards and said, well, now S197s are pretty cheap. I can make a drag car out of an S197. And Donnie is one of the more popular cars I've ever owned. I took it for a drive the other day. It gets attention with the Brembos and Bellacs. People were like, fuck, the thing's badass. And I'm like, really? Like, again, I've owned these kind of cars, so it's not really, but it gets attention. It looks different. It doesn't look like a Honda Accord or a Camry. It looks like, something else. But if Ford thought that people were going to Ford to modify their car, a la the ProCal, the cold air upgrade, the GT350 intake package, manifold, cold air, and throttle body package, they just went to Lund to tune it. So I'm hoping that the 24 Mustang release and subsequent lack of sales shows somebody high up at Ford that the car you make is not good. We make the car you make good. The aftermarket makes the car you make good. The reason I say that is this. I don't think those guys are aware at all. I don't think anybody at Ford Performance or Ford Racing is aware of what's happening in the aftermarket. Case in point, the Werewolf. Wait, do I have the Wolf? I don't think I ever downloaded it. The Werewolf. Wait, is it internet slow? The the werewolf. They were like, oh, this thing's an iron block Coyote, because that's what we want. Because that's what we want. An iron block Coyote. You stupid sons of bitches. You absolute retards. Sleeved aluminum ones have been making 2,500 horse for years. They were not aware. He looked at us and he was like, Did you see the block down there that we have down there, the werewolf? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, that thing can hold 2,000 horsepower. I'm like, aluminum ones hold 2,000 horsepower sleeved. What's the cost of a werewolf? What's the cost of a stock block with sleeves? Stock block with, and then the weight advantage. And I was like, senior, junior looked at the guy. I was in that meeting, and they were like, yeah, it's not a big deal. And then there were people in the aftermarket, you know who doesn't know shit when they get excited over a werewolf block. Oh, iron block, finally! Said nobody. Why do you think people still hold out for aluminum Trinity blocks? 5.4s, the desirable 5.4 is aluminum. Nobody goes, I want the iron one. I really, you know what's the best one made? The 07 to 2010 5.4. The iron one. Said absolutely nobody. Unbelievable. So I think Ford is just not aware. And one day they're going to make a study. They're going to do a study. They're going to go, why do you think this thing didn't sell for shit? I mean, we made it rev on the key fob. We put the e-brake on a switch. We made it heavier and put two stupid Samsung tablets to have just latency filled. Like you touch it and you wait 10 seconds and then it goes to the next key. Well, that's what people want, right? What the fuck happened? And then maybe they have a young guy in there and goes, I don't know, I'm looking at the internet and it looks like the lack of tuning is like the big problem. Of course, I'm sure with the price too. What the hell do they want? Why would they want to tune it? You don't want to buy the FRPP GT350 package? Fuck you. Alex. So, this is my favorite. Alex, how much more horsepower do you think if I put a 350 manifold, 350 cold air, and an 87 millimeter throttle body will make on my car? I'm like, 15? Maybe 20? Behind the asshole. Because nobody measures it at the rear wheel. Oh, Ford claims. What does Ford claim for that thing? Ford induction upgrade Mustang. It's the 350 throttle body performance power packs. Hello, vehicles, Mustang. Boy, apparently we need to stress test their website. Do they have a performance power pack? Separator kit, which is illegal. A Whipple, a super $10,000 kit. Exhaust, more exhaust. A intake manifold, the dual throttle body version. What about the power pack, bro? Anyway, maybe Parker would know. I think he fucked with those things, but they made like barely any horsepower difference. Oh, look, they're actually selling. Look at their website. It's like the Shelby site now. It's like a tent with the Ford logo on it. How is that a performance part? I'm blown away by it. 70 sticker kits and wheels on a Volare. Call it an RT. Do you happen to know Schrader Tuning? I do. He seems like a good guy. I'm not going to ever tell you to go to him over Lund. Like, you guys are goofy if you think I'm going to be like, oh, he's a good guy. Oh, go to him. Actually, go to him. Fuck it. If you don't know shit about Lund. Hell, the sweet ones. Oh, I don't know, Parker and them are having a conversation. Not even Donovan or Brodix, but Werewolf Block. Exactly. Damn it, late again, says Maxi Speed Rods. Real talk. The Gen 1 Coyote is what saved Ford the Mustang name for this long. There's a reason I bought the Gen 1 again, because I saw in the ticket system the crazy popularity that the Gen 1 is kind of, there's a resurgent popularity of something that looks like a Mustang that doesn't look like a Honda. And the Gen 1 is it, especially 13, 14. Don't get me wrong, 11, 12, very cool. 13, 14 is creme de la creme. That's why if I'm going to buy a Boss 302, it's going to be a 13. I like the newer headlights. I like the taillights. It's just, and I like the dash better. So I'm kind of blown away that Ford is probably, like, do you think they're panicking? Do you think anybody at Ford is actually panicking? I don't know. They made an iron block because of the go-to LS guy ain't even worth the investment. LS, look, you can't bring LS logic into this. Like, do you see what's happening now that Brett won versus that 2J and Lund won? There's these weird rehashing of like, well, that Coyote block ain't shit. It's so big. And da, da, da. Forget all that. Let's say you want to go fast and you see two cars at Texas 2K with Ford motors in a Ford car run well into the sixes, and with the engine family that it came with, and you're like, and it's a very available motor, like it's everywhere. Okay, could be a Predator version, a Gen 3 version, whatever. It's very available. Wouldn't you as a racer go, I'm going to start looking into that motor and do a little, research, because they seem to be rolling out, and I want to know why that program is doing so well with these motors. Like, it's real difficult as a racer to go after like a big inch LS or a big block. Don't get me wrong though. If I'm racing and I want to go sevens easily, yeah, twin turbo big block, no problem. Here you go. And that thing is going to last season after season after season, but you're going to be limited as to what classes you can run. You're not going to be able to get into street car if you have a 598 cubic inch twin 100 millimeter M1 car, M1 big block. They're going to go, no, this is like extreme. Yeah, but I just want to have a super easy combo to go sevens. Cool. Your cubic inches and your turbo size and your weight is just too much. So you're basically stuck grudge racing. And you and I both know grudge guys are well into the fours, sometimes high threes. Ford should hire Alex for head of Ford Performance. I would work for them as a, see, what they need. Okay, let's talk politics for a little bit, because I know you guys love that. Who do you think helped Donald Trump win the election? Who is the most consequential figure in his cabinet that helped him win the election? Let's see if you guys are paying attention, because I'm paying attention. And I'll tell you, it's no one you actually think it is. Mike Tooley says LaSalle's car is impressive as fuck. No lie. What about Lund's car? You don't think a 6R80 car is with a similar motor build is impressive? Don't get me wrong. Brett's car is badass, has the chassis. The Lunds don't have the chassis, and they're going 6'6" at 218. 218 at 3,300 pounds. It's kind of silly. No, not Elon. No, do some thinking, guys. Do some real good thinking. Who helped Donald Trump win the election? Again, guys, Donald Trump started showing up on podcasts. Donald Trump started posting weird memes on Twitter. Donald Trump was all over PBD podcast, Joe Rogan podcast. Who do you think sat there and said, you got to go to these things. You got to show up to these events. You got to show, because, going to Kentucky is only going to do it for so long. You need to be where the eyes are, and the eyes are in the podcasting world. Someone said, Barron. That's right. Barron. David Figueroa. Barron Trump, his son, his 18-year-old son. Well, you and I both know, if you're young, you're watching podcast after podcast. You're watching Rogan. You're watching PBD. You're watching Tim Pool at 8 o'clock. I watch Tim Pool. I watch Tim Pool every day. I watch PBD when I can, because I can't take the Adam guy at all. I can't take him. I want to mute it when he's on. That's when I started seeing Trump just sit there and talk for 3 hours. And I'm like, bro, this guy's super legit. Ford needs a Barron Trump. Ford needs someone that is young, not me. I'm 47. I'm over the hill. Ford needs somebody that is hip to the game, understands the aftermarket, to advise how to promote stuff. Have you seen some of the some of the ads? Did you see the ad that they made for the the Border Patrol with the Chris Brown song? With the Busta Rhymes, it was wonderful. I'm like, that's actually pretty funny. Memes, meme culture. Ford does not understand meme culture. Ford does not have anyone on payroll that understands what's happening on the ground. Ford, why aren't you offering FFRE some kind of like look as to like, hey, how are you guys making these last so long? Why isn't Ford knocking down FFRE's door and go, what do we need to do to give you so that you can keep pushing this car further? Because nobody is representing any, FFRE is doing it on their own. So imagine if FFRE had a Ford representative giving him, hey, this one has better materials, this one has higher nickel or whatever. You know, we've made a cast that's a little stronger and less prone to flexing. Hey, we can work on, Ford has that capability. And back in the racing days in the 60s, Ford literally gave truckloads of motors to people to go drag racing. Because back then, you won on Sunday, you sold on Monday. It can still be that, but the problem is Ford is giving it to IMSA guys and like SCCA bullshit. Irrelevant. In the street, absolutely irrelevant. NASCAR, irrelevant. When NASCAR was like the Wild West and you could do whatever the fuck you wanted before they started saying, yeah, that Boss 429 can't be in anything. It's too badass. That Hemi is too badass. When they started regulating down, NASCAR is a watered down, highly regulated thing. But if you give it to the outlaw motherfuckers that are doing crazy shit and actually have factory backing on some of these cars, you don't think that Ford is going to learn if they have a partnership with somebody that races as much as a Brett, as FFRE, as guys in that level, that they can maybe whittle that down in a quicker fashion to their vehicles? But they're not even aware that it exists, I don't think. They go, hey, Billy, tell me who's the hot racer right now. And where do they go? NHRA.com. Nobody gives a fuck about the NHRA. Nobody gives a fuck about the NHRA. At least people buying Mustangs aren't. Are you watching NHRA? I'm not watching NHRA. I don't give a fuck about that. Top Fuel comes up, I don't give a fuck. But Flow Racing is on, and it's TX2K, FL2K, the reunion. I watch because that's relatable to me. But maybe they don't think so. Maybe they don't. Maybe, who's running NHRA Pro Stock or Factory Stock or Eliminator? Nobody gives a fuck about that shit, bro. Barron isn't in Trump's cabinet. Oh my God, Rusty Nut. You're one of those fucking idiots, right? You're one of those fucking idiots that goes, he's not in his cabinet. You don't think Barron's in his ear? You don't think Barron's in his ear? Stupid. Technically, Alex, technically Barron's not in his cabinet. I have all the Trump PBD podcasts saved in my playlist here on YouTube. Hello, Emery. Catch the replay later. Ford ain't going to cater to the 0.1% of racers. Worst sales in Mustang history. Do you want to save the Mustang, Ford? How important is the Mustang to you, Ford? And what's it cost to give a little bit of attention to the racer that pushes the Coyote platform, which is still relevant to this day, the furthest? You're just going to let it ride? How important is the gasoline-powered Mustang to you? If you're not out there pushing that platform with your partners, which would cost you nothing, what would it cost to work with someone like an FFRE to have a cast made that's a little stiffer than what you currently have? What's it cost Ford to do that? What's it cost Ford to support an SCCA team that 5 people watch? You think I'm going to sit there and watch a whole SCCA race? You're goofy. I don't give a fuck about NHRA. Street legal running car numbers is what I give a fuck about. That is a great way of putting it. Street legal cars running a number is what I give a fuck about. When I see PDRA, I'm done. X275 is probably the closest cars that I can say maybe that car can do a drag and drive. But when it comes to maybe Pro 275. No, not Pro 275, which is the one that has a slick tire car, but it's as quick as a Pro 275 car. But most PDRA shit I don't care about, like the Pro classes. It's like, meh, I don't care. But when it comes to the classes that, boy, even LDR, limited drag radial, is probably at the cusp of what I would say I give a fuck about. Pro mod, I don't give two shit. I'm going to get chicken strips. At the Pro mod's up, I'm going to get chicken strips. Stupid. Baron got him on Rogan and Theo. Why is it so hard for Ford to make a 3,300 pound tunable billet oil pump gear Tremec bare bones Mustang? Not TV screen for radio. At the most, same screen they use S550. If Ford made a 3,500 pound car with no frills, open tuning, I buy it tomorrow. Because we go to the drag strip. Make a drag pack version of the Mustang, meaning you do less. Kids buy the platform that's the fastest, even if they buy an EcoBoost or a stock GT, just because of the potential of the car, or they'll upgrade to the trim that is the one to have. Man, Ford used to be kind of cool with the SVT shit and stuff. Now they're gay liberals making gay Raptors. Is Andrew going to take his blow GT500 engine to Bread Boy? I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you think of a Gazeti product, specifically clutch-wise? They seem to make good clutches for the 10R80s. You better stock up on them because 10R80s are just clutch-dumping things. And, you know, I'm blown away that there are still people out there, especially on Facebook, that still think the 10R80 is like badass. It's like, it's badass until you got to put clutches in it 3 times a year. Do you have to be within your revision window to have data logs looked at? Yes. I'm about to change my 120 millimeter pillar to 110 on G2 tomorrow. I just want to make sure I have enough fuel. 93. If you're past your revision window, plus 150, go look at a log. I didn't go buy a 24 Ford F-150 because it can't be towed. Instead, I bought a 2020 and got a tune. I think he meant tune. If I have to re-up for that, it's not a problem. Yeah, 150 re-up, brother. Casually listening with it, the internet 650 says he says 10-speed. Chicken strips, then go stack turds with the peasants. Predator GT500 says Ford wasting time with the money on F1 Eco while F1 talking about V10s again. Isn't that great? Isn't that great that Ford just seems to step in it every time? Like, why would Ford reach out to F1 to work with hybrid stuff without knowing what the, like, look, okay. You know what I was watching today? It was wonderful. The OJ stuff, the OJ case on Netflix. I lived it in my late teens, and it was just fascinating. It was my first peek into interrogation tactics. You never ask a question in the court of law unless you know the answer. So there was a point in time in the OJ case where Mark Furman, who was the guy that found the glove, the bloody glove of OJ Simpson, was asked, you know, are you a racist? He's like, no, sir. He goes, have you ever uttered the N-word in the last 10 years? He goes, no, sir. He goes, are you sure about that? The moment a lawyer says that, are you sure about it? Is that what you want to know? Yes. He's under oath. Then they had a tape of him just saying the N-word over and over and over. Even though he said it was for a screenplay, it was just, he answered, have you said the N-word in the last 10 years? Said no. Boom. Caught red-handed. So Ford, without knowing what the future landscape was going to be, went all in on F1 shit. And I guarantee they did it for popularity. They didn't do it because, you think I look at Ford as an F1 contender? You think I look at Ford as anything? Ford right now is mid-size mom cars. That's what you do now. Edges, Mustang Mach-E's, Explorer STs. Let's be honest, the F-150 is mostly bought by families that want a daily that's big, but it's here. All I see is women driving F-150s or big badass Cadillacs or F-350s, Platinums. I'm like, wow, you're going to go grocery shopping in a fucking quad cab F-350? So Ford is not relevant anymore. And once Dodge stopped making the Charger, Challenger, V8, and Chevy stopped making the Camaro, and I'm still kind of blown away by the Camaro. Why is the Camaro allowed in heavyweight classes and the Mustang is not? The Camaro weighs the same as the Mustang. Am I right? Like, the Mustang and the Camaro are probably 100 pounds apart. So when I saw the heavyweight class at TX2K, I go, why don't they allow Mustangs there? Just call it the Dodge class, because it's just Chargers and Challengers. We watched OJ trial in high school. They wheeled that TV onto the car and everything. Appreciate it, Savard Martin. You got it, brother. Chevy did that with the 6th gen LT1 trim Camaro. Super bare bones on the tech, but then you have to deal with the LT. Ford needs to do the same thing. Alex, it's not just Facebook. The whole casual car world thinks that transmission is God tier. The 10R80 is the biggest piece of shit ever. The reason the 10R80 is a thing is the same reason auto stop start is a thing, DOD, and diesel particulate filters. The 10-speed exists because of emissions regulations. It's just emissions regulations. It was never intended as performance. It was never intended as a Billy Badass performance transmission. It is something that keeps it, the car has to work less hard to go through the gear. Boo, 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 boo. It's like get in a bicycle and have a 3-geared bicycle, or have a bicycle that's a 10-speed or an 18-speed. Click, 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 click. You have the crank is your legs. You're right. That's your crank, and the crank is not working as hard. But now the because you have gear ratio and advantages and torque multiplication, now you can go 20 miles an hour with the same pedal manipulation than you would, a 3-speed that's going, 10 miles an hour or 5 miles an hour. So the reason the 10R80 exists is for emissions regulations. Diesel guys, just like gun guys. I'm sure there's a bunch of gay diesel guys here. What is the most reliable, name off the most reliable diesels around, transmission included, like the 7.3 Power Stroke, the 12-valve Cummins, and the Duramax LB7? Guys, I might be way wrong. I'm just going off the top of the dome. 6-speed Duramax. 4-speed Power Stroke. Maybe a 5-speed Cummins, right? Because I don't know shit about the transmissions. To this day, as long as you change your oil on time, as long as you service it properly, as long as you don't idle it nonstop, to this day, those things are still kicking ass. Robust. Now go ahead and buy yourself a 2023 4.5 diesel anything with a 10-speed. Tell me how many problems those have. Tell me about the fuel pump issues that they have. Tell me about the valve body issues that the transmission have. Tell me about the planetary issues. Tell me about how the ball joints are made on those cars. Tell me about how any mechanical mechanism on any modern vehicle is made. They're all made with the lightweight, saving gas, efficient. And when farm equipment from the 60s, you could probably still turn over some of the best videos I've ever seen, is when a guy buys an old Caterpillar tractor, bulldozer, front end loader for like $300, goes out there with about $300 worth of oil, spark plugs, and just stuff, and gets it running. And it just works. It just works. Shit was built for durability in the past. Now it's built for efficiency. And when you build something for efficiency, it does not last as long. Like the 10R80. 6.7 Ford with the 10R140. Stop it. 5.9 12-valve 7.3 Power Stroke. 12-valve 5.6 speed is king. What the fuck is wrong with this thing? Total Toilet Forever searching for a gear. Says the first time I drove a 10R, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? Total Toilet Forever searching for a gear. Slow as dirt, but they don't need to be fast. I've never driven a 10R80 car or truck, and that didn't piss me off. The 10R80 is what made me sell my last Mustang. It never quit doing weird shit. 6.0 Power Stroke sounds. 6.7 manual G56 CP4s came out, and 7.3 stayed. And the 7.3 stayed. LB7, LLY, and LMM, all 6-speed Duramax. That's the truck I want. If I'm buying a Duramax, it is a green extended cab, short bed, LBZ Duramax. Is that right? LBZ Duramax. Images. There it is. There it is. Oh, give me that. Give me that. Give me that right there. Give me that. Give me that right there. Boom. 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 Even that. I'll take that bitch too. Fuck a Ford. Give me this. This. Give me that. No, not that. Give me this. I'll take this motherfucker. Oh, come on, bro. It wasn't even turned on. This, to me, is a vehicle that, as long as I, maintain it, that's a bad motherfucker. That is a bad bitch. Why do I say that? When I worked as a millwright, we had one of those. That bitch never had a problem. I did ball joints, I did discs, I did brakes, never did any weird pump shit, nothing. This bitch was a green one, just like that. Want it, but give me that dually. Probably still $40,000. Them things are fucking unobtainium. Good luck finding one that isn't raped to death. LBZ, exactly, cat eye. All newer diesels suck because of the CP4 pumps and emissions regulations. Get rid of all that, and basically all the top 3 diesels run pretty damn good. It's interesting to see all the hype around the layman street car stuff. Can you imagine the FFRE roll car on the streets? Look, somebody has to shoot across the bow of the Lambo and Viper guys with a Mustang. There is no other domestic vehicle than a Viper that has the potential of pushing shit in on a roll than a Coyote powered something. If someone is psychotic, rich, and wants to build a dedicated roll car to go to TX, 2K, and maybe some of these half-mile events and start doing the 240, 250 shit, it'll be an FFRE-equipped something with 2,500, 3,000 horsepower. Cat eye. Also super happy with the new truck. Got a 14 mega cab, 2,500. We got to see Alex with a 4-door long bed power stroke to pull the Fairmont to the track. Look, I'm considering getting a truck. I love the Cadillac, but the operation is getting to the point where I might need to take 2 cars to the track, and a big old long trailer and a gooseneck shit is calling my name. LB7 for the win. Put some Toto in the back. 6.7 with a torque shift. 6 like a rock. Oh, like a rock. Sell my 10R80 if anyone's interested in LL drive shaft and converter. Valley 10-speed. Are you going turbo 400, papa? Oh my God. If you go turbo 400, it's going to change your life. Valley, if you go turbo 400, it's more work. It's more expensive. It's going to be some growing pains. But once you get that shit figured out. Remember Cuban Coyote? Which is now like B58 Cuban. See what I mean? Once he got a 400, he never had issues. Bitch just went. He just couldn't start the motherfucker because you had to put ether in the bitch. A cat eye Duramax pulls like a freight train too. My boss thought our 2020 F-350 gas truck had a transmission problem. Second week into driving and nothing was wrong. I just told him it's a 10R80. No, 10-speed. I have a 21 F-150 and 24 Ram 2500. I like them both. Would be cool to see a Fab 350R go to TX2K and compete with the S550. Coyote swap 3rd gen Firebird would be unstoppable from a roll. Why the fuck would you say that? LBZ truck, go for the stupid money. Waiting for some sorry son of a bitch to get a divorce and cut me that deal. LBZs, I've seen them. I paid attention. A Southern LBZ Duramax under 100,000 miles. Unobtainium. Wow, we're going to have to look. What year? 2007? Guys, give me the years of the LBZ shit and we'll look it up. We like doing that game. Ford, instead of releasing the shitty 10R80, they should have improved the 6R80 over time or put it 8-speed. Emissions regulations and gas mileage standards had to be met, so the 10-speed had to be the thing. Yeah, 10R80 going bye-bye. If you're a real one, no matter what year Cummins, the front end of a Dodge is booty cheeks. I love my first generation Cummins. Nothing better than a manual transmission, all mechanical engine. One of the best things I experienced in terms of analog and mechanical was the notchback. The notchback with a carburetor, I went to a meet, and I opened the hood, and they're like, oh, carburetor. I don't know. Everyone's like, and then I'm like, I'm hip to the carburetor game. So I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. All right, guys. And I think they all were like wondering how long it's going to take to start. That thing was like, I'm like, and they're like, so then I talked to Sergio afterwards, and he was like, I was actually surprised to hear that thing start so good. I'm like, it started phenomenally. Wonderful. LBZs are 0607. Let's go to Car Gurus. Let's go to Car Gurus and look up some 0607 LBZ diesel. Okay, Chevy or GMC, Sierra, but let's look up Chevy. Chevrolet, my zip code, 2500 Silverado HD. Whatever. Let's do it together. Because, you know, we want to keep you guys involved. Exterior color, I'm not going to put green because transmission. Let's look engine. Is there a diesel? V8? Okay, V8. Is there gas? Fuel type. Diesel. Years. Location, make, transmission, body style, online. Years. 06 to 07. 1929. 2006 to 2007. I love that. I love that truck. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a psycho. I kind of know. I drove it for work, man. I was like, I couldn't afford shit back then. What the hell does it say Ford for? Chevrolet Silverado. Search. 4. 111,000 miles. Green, too. Look at this. 07 Silverado Classic Duramax Diesel. 111,000 miles. 07. Let's look at the photos. Oh, come on. Stop it. It wasn't even turned on. Yeah, bro. Yep. Yeah, I could smell it. Look, you got the running boards in the back, son. Got the new tires on the joint. Yeah, 111,000 miles. No check engine light, nothing weird. Idling, chilling. Oh, he got what the fuck's he got? Premier radio. Yeah, bro, look at that. That bitch was just badass. 4x4? Yeah, it is 4x4. Oh, come on, stop it. Bedliner. Bitch is mint. $40,000, guys. $40,000. This is $38,000. Wow, that looks good. Damn. Look at this, guys. Oh, the sunroof and the leather. I'm surprised this thing's not worn out. It always wears out here, man. Oh shit, he got the Amazon backup camera. Airbags. He totaled a shitload with it. Who cares? Got the Bose stereo. Telling you, bro, these things are Billy badass. I love them. This is another one, super cheapy. $20,000. ¿Qué pasó? Is it broken? 220,000 miles. That's why it's a work truck. Probably still no problem. It's probably still not a problem. Bro, I don't like the long bed though. Because where the fuck are you going to park that thing? It's like parking a limo. And then this guy definitely should put a welder in the back. How many miles? 200? 162. So yeah, so good luck. So these things are big money. They're still worth good money. A 2,500 3/4 ton Duramax 0607 Silverado or Sierra is badass. And in my opinion, just, you know, if I'm ever going to buy a diesel, it'll be that. The new stuff scares me because I don't know enough about it. And then you guys talking about pumps and shit. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to know about those problems. LBZ was 0607. LMM was 07 to 11, 2000 and 2006 or something. But Valley, you were getting good at building them. He was getting good at building them, but he doesn't need to build them anymore. LBZ is goated. Absolutely. And again, I don't know enough about it. I'm not like a nut hugger, but the Duramax diesel, in my opinion, with the Allison transmission is really badass. And I would get it in a heartbeat. The ZFA clearly met emissions requirements. Ford didn't want to pay money for a real driveline. LMM are 07.5 to 10. They're basically LBZ, but with diesel particulate filter. Alex, what you said about the Chevy trans tunnel and shifter heat coming to the cab by your feet and cup holders is so true. If you've ever run a Corvette C6, I don't care the matters of generation. Look, I was driving from Pennsylvania, me and my girlfriend at the time, drove from Pennsylvania all the way down to Florida after I bought it. I'm like, let me buy it. Let prove its worth. Drove it down. And right at about like the 40-minute mark, she's like, it thing's fucking hot. And I'm like, yeah, like what's wrong? And I touched the center console and I'm like, boom. So luckily the AC worked. So the AC was kicking and we had it at full blast. And I'm like, you good? She goes, yeah, I'm good. It's good now. It's comfortable. But I couldn't believe it. Stopped, got a fizzy drink, put it on the cup holder. Dude, it was 100 degrees. And I'm like, this car's a piece of shit. Not the car because I bought it. This is the design of the car. And then I started looking at forums. Like, oh, yeah, you got people put sound deadening and a bunch of insulation there to keep the heat. I'm like, people bought this car for $100,000 brand new. Shame on you. Look no further than Macar S550 had to pull over for GSP since 4th and 5th gear. The 1030 had begun to slip at Ford. All the trucks are on Marketplace. The good trucks are on Marketplace. I would never buy anything from Facebook Marketplace, to be honest with you. Didn't Chevy still sell the 07 Cat Eye brand new? That thing green looks gray blue colorblind ass to my. It looks greenish to me. A lot of old boomers own those LBZ trucks. Oil change time at all. Mango Brain in here in Florida, I see them all over the place. All over LBZ Duramaxes everywhere in mint condition. Florida trucks, zero rust, pavement pounders. So I might go up to one of the guys and be like, hey, excuse me, sir. I apologize. I don't mean to come up. Would you ever consider selling this truck? Because, and you know what? I also see here a lot, guys, a lot S197s. Cherry, perfect condition, bone stock S197s, clean as shit, no modifications. I saw a ruby red 14, black California special wheels, Brembo package, tan interior. I almost jizzed my pants. Which Duramax is the crank snapper? Don't know, ugly duck. What was up with that NASA landing? Everything seemed fake until the footage of them was hilarious and looked fake. The backflip in space seemed like he was in a wire harness. D-Rock, shut the fuck up. If you're one of those deniers, get out of here. I was going to get all poon with a lifted truck. No. I mean, okay. I'll be honest with you guys. The girls down here think they're redneck. It's Gardens, Jupiter. It's like super rich. But they want to be redneck. So if I wanted to get laid with some nasty chick that's like rednecky wannabe, because it's like hip to be rednecky and wear pit vipers and be stupid, but your parents are rich as fuck. That's like the thing to do here. I can bag a chick like that, but I don't know. I don't think I'm that desperate yet. I'd rather import somebody. $40,000 for my 17 F250 King Ranch with 330,000 miles, but the pre-def trucks are worth the money. These in Ohio rusted out going for 18 to 24. Dirty Maxes need lift pumps. They don't come factory with them. Must have for any diesel. Got it. So talking shift, we're deleting our comments, but mine is still up. We got you, brother. Look, if you're still on there fighting the good fight and going against 1320 videos, I appreciate you. I go in there and try to comment on their Instagram. They just delete the comments. But the fact that someone has to physically delete comments from 1320 video stuff, I love. And we'll see if they ever air another episode of Talking Shift. And if they do, we're going to go in there and we're going to be like, fuck this. It stops once you publicly announce a name change. I'm pretty sure LMM was the 13 to 16. Okay, we're going to get off on diesel stuff. 07, I had a 07 Z06. So true, especially on long trips. I forgot you had a vet, Alex. I have a video ready to go, but like it's me just talking. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to announce that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm looking to announce, you know, or give you an update on the Corvette when there's really no update. But this weekend, by the way, Lund Racing doesn't work tomorrow. We took Friday off. We're too busy, and we caught up, and we're like, we need a break. We're like slammed. So we had a pre-planned Thursday, Friday off this week, but it got so busy, we all said, okay, let's work till Thursday. Friday, we're not working. So if you don't expect a tune tomorrow. We're just taking a break. Everyone needs a break. It's like a mental health day. That's literally what it is. It's a mental health day. So tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe mess around with the Corvette to make a video to see what supercharger might fit on there, what it looks like. I might put the Department of Boost kit on the motor with the VMP TVS Gen 3 on it that is ported by Kong and see how it fits. And if it looks good, that might end up being the power adder that goes on it. That's a nice shirt, Primo. F-Cam Rizzy shirts are the best. The fitment is perfection. Big ups, Rizzy. Exactly. How's the throttle body tuning with section? Hey, actually, it's very interesting. So this is the issue I'm having with the GT500. The throttle bodies don't fully close. So at idle, and they're not one-to-one, meaning the way I have them wired up is there's latency, right? So the throttle actually does oscillate at idle to target a torque, target an RPM, target a throttle angle based on spark, based on many things. So I think what's happening is this. All of a sudden, the second throttle body cracks a little more than the primary. Let's say bank one, passenger side, cracks a little bit, and then the other one tries to counteract that cracking by shutting. So when it does this one does this, and the car goes, whoom, ooh, ooh, and then the throttle body goes, Vroom, and I'm like, So we figured out how to tame that down. But then comes the drivability portion of it. So the way to tamp down without giving up too much information, oscillating throttle body is desensitizing that area, that throttle area. You also can play with many things like the dash pod and the idle air. But the biggest issue I'm having right now is having a linear throttle. It's a watt machine. I can go watt. I'm going to make a video about the cam stuff. I fixed some cam stuff that I had suspicions on. I ended up fixing without having to tear the car apart. I ended up fixing the intake cams because the intake cams are Gen 2 intake cams. Very exotic, weird, but we're tuners, so we challenge ourselves. So now I've been driving it around the neighborhood, and there's it kind of has a very touchy throttle, too touchy. So what I'm doing now is massaging a couple of tables to make the throttle linear, but not dead. And that's a dance of like trying stuff. I'm sure there's calculators and shit you can use, but this is a very exotic one-off situation. I don't think we'd ever offer this to people. It's just too difficult to do remotely. But it's something to try to see if we can figure out. If not, I'll just make a 2-in-1 manifold and we'll have one big throttle body on it, or control the second throttle body mechanically, meaning totally shut the first throttle body, tune it off of one throttle body, and then when this throttle body gets to 40%, then slowly bring this one open based on pedal position, or mechanically open it, because watt, the car doesn't care. The problem is idle, transition, and drivability. It should just be just one throttle body. My comments get highlighted, then deleted. Alex, 90 Day Fiance is calling. I'm telling you, at this point, I totally understand why men import their wives. No Yap Sessions. We get enough of that bullshit in automotive YouTube. My little brother bought his financing brand new Mustang, EcoBoost Mustang. Am I the crazy one to think he's made a stupid financial move? Don't buy an EcoBoost Mustang. I'm telling you guys, I understand you think you're going to be cool because you have a Mustang, but it's actually the opposite effect. You're gay if you buy an EcoBoost Mustang. See, a lot of people go, oh, Mustang. They look at the car and they go, cool. But then they're like, damn, it's $44,000. I can't afford that, but I can afford $30,000. Okay, I'll just lower it, stance it. I'm not looking to go racing in it. So then you get it, and you do stupid ricer shit. You do the blow-off valve mod where it just blows off the atmosphere. You do an exhaust mod and it sounds like farts. So then when someone like me, who is a performance car enthusiast, I see an EcoBoost Mustang, I immediately think you're gay or you have a rental. Because nobody in their right mind would finance an EcoBoost Mustang. You would rent one. So do yourself a favor. If you can't afford a Gen 3 or 4 EcoBoost, buy a Gen 2 or Gen 1 Coyote Mustang. You'd get way more respect from an older Coyote Mustang than a newer EcoBoost Mustang by far. Alex, I started to comment at 1320 Clue at FL2K about it. John Lund laughed and said, nah. What are you talking about? Alex, I started to comment to the 1320 Crew at FL2K about it. John Lund laughed and said, nah. Okay. Maybe I missed the initial part. If they ever make it tunable, do you think there'll be much of an advantage with the Gen 4 Coyote, or is it just a Gen 3 with a fancy throttle body? So let's say you let's say you saw that Scott Boda did not go any faster with bigger throttle bodies. So he proved to us what we have always known, that a bigger throttle body makes no difference. Why? The motor can only process so much air. You understand? Unless you force it in. Boost. So if the motor is processing all this air and you have the throttle bodies hung open, it's like, this is all I can process naturally aspirated. See, think about it in how the restriction is the motor. So the motor is revving, and no ease of restriction is helping. So that means a Cobra jet intake isn't going to make more power. That means a bigger throttle body is going to make more power. And if it is, it's only going to make it at like very, very high RPMs, meaning the motor is not being restricted by the intake. The motor is not being restricted by the throttle bodies. One throttle body is probably enough. One 87 millimeter throttle body is probably enough that the motor is happy without seeing too much of a restriction. It's processing exactly what it can take in. But now you have two throttle bodies. motor's happy, then you put a bigger throttle body, it doesn't make a difference. Telling you the car needs tuning to make it happen. How? Cam timing changes, spark changes, or fuel changes. Or you get different cams in there, tune them to swing at the right event via tuning. You have to make the air pump more efficient. So, if tuning becomes available, now cam manufacturers can make cams for it. Intake manufacturers can make a proper bank-to-bank style cross-runner intake. Throttle body companies can now take advantage of a better, efficient motor that has cams, crazy intakes, crazy fuels, adjustable cam angles, and adjustable, let's say, more favorable spark events or combustion events. So in stock form, you're not going to do shit. Tuning allows the aftermarket to do everything else. Because let's say cam manufacturers are making cams and they have to stick to the stock phasing. They're going to go, damn, I think the stock cam is fine. Like if L&M, Comp, and anyone else is like, I want to make a camshaft for this car. Well, we can't swing it because there's no tuning. Then they're going to go look up the specs of the stock cam and go, this is exactly what I would make. But if you have the ability to swing it with higher revving manifolds and rev it to 83,400, via tuning, and you could swing it a certain way, now cam manufacturers make cams, throttle body companies make throttle bodies, intake people make intakes, porting, all this stuff. But without tuning, nothing happens. Would a Coyote 01 do well in roll racing? Who the fuck knows? Are they wired in parallel or one piggyback off the other? One piggyback off the other. I should change it up, but that's Jake's thing. Hey, but Jake already talked about it with me. He's like, no matter how you wire it, you can't go one-to-one exactly if you're sharing the same wire. There is no secondary driver. So what I would do is control the second throttle body mechanically with a linkage or have it open via TPS after a certain voltage or a certain throttle body angle. So let's say, for instance, it's totally shut. No air leakage, just one throttle body's actuating. And then when I go over pedal, let's say like a pedal commander, right? Let's say you had a pedal commander and its voltage is not going to the second throttle body at all up until 60% pedal. Then it goes whoop, it flies open like mechanical secondaries on a carburetor. Or even better, vacuum secondaries on a carburetor. But those open based on engine demand. So the carburetor style of opening and closing sounds favorable to me. Rolling up to the next meet with an EcoBoost Mustang just gets you he couldn't afford a real one. But Alex, an EcoBoost gaps plastic bolt-on GTs. Basic bolt-on GTs. Notice the chip on my shoulder. Staying mode used to be EcoBeast. Enough said. Job and like it. I'll catch a replay. Don't spend it all in one place. Thank you so much for the $5. I will not spend it all in one place. The pedal extender. Been watching your show for a year now and I love it. Learned so much. We have a lot in common. 47-year-old, 2022 Coyotes. World-class athlete. Thanks for that, but I'm not a world-class athlete. I'm a very good athlete, but I'm not a world-class athlete. Okay. What define world-class athlete? I mean, no, I'm a good baseball player, but not great. I can shoot a basketball. I can throw a football. I guess I'm like jack of all, master of none. Heyo. Tuner that only does NA shenanigans swapped their ported dual throttle body manifold onto a truck that had a single throttle body Mustang manifold, and it was shocked that it was seeing no gains, just like you said would happen. The motor can only process so much. That's why I'm blown away that people put Cobra Jet manifolds in a Gen 1 Mustang. No cams? No. So what the fuck are you expecting? Well, it pulls harder. Yeah, at 6,500 RPMs. But the motor is like wildly inefficient up until the meat, which is way up there. To me, a Cobra Jet should not go on any Coyote Mustang unless you make the air pump more efficient by the cams. You get aftermarket cams that allow your car to rev to 8,500 RPM. So that means you get springs, pack 1234X springs, comp cam stage 2s if you're Gen 3, comp cam stage 3s if you're anything under Gen 3, Gen 2, Gen 1. And then you springs, Cobra Jet, ported to death, Pmas, CJ65, 500 wheel, no problem, 530 wheel sometimes. What if there was a small signal amplifier that gave you the exact same control between the two throttle bodies? I don't think that exists, because how would you control? Well, I'm not an electronics guy, but if anybody out there wants to throw ideas out there, I'm game. I'll reach out to the audience. You guys have fixed a lot. I'm telling you, this is looking good. I'm telling you guys, it's looking good. It's eating right, you know. So if someone has ideas and someone has because Jake can only do so much, he's a busy guy, but if the audience wants to help with some kind of way of making sure that the throttle bodies work 1-to-1, meaning no latency, but I have to find a way of shutting the second throttle body. The second throttle body has to shut or work 1-to-1 and not have like that weird latency where, you know, they kind of jostle back and forth in a weird way. So yeah, I'm willing to Patreon, go on my Patreon, let me know. I've already looked up parts that allow manipulation of the throttle body with an aftermarket controller based on voltage or pedal position. So I've already looked all this stuff up and I'm willing to do it, but I'm trying to do it via tuning first. Tomorrow will be a heavy tuning day on the GT500, meaning those little stupid changes that nobody cares about. I got the watt stuff figured out. Idle is wonky. Transition is a little too sensitive. So I'm working on those two. Throttle went 18 on EcoBoost. So did Lund and so did UPR. What if there was a small... got that. Deal. There's something that almost no one talks about, but the control pack for the dual throttle bodies, Coyote, has not been released yet. Everyone talks about it. Why do you think the dual throttle body control pack has not been released yet? There is no tuning. There is a Gen 4 Mustang control pack that has the Gen 4 cams, Gen 3 computer, a TC298, not an MG. So it has a single throttle body, but it has a Gen 4 motor. And I don't think tuning's out for that. Alex would play Senior League Baseball if he didn't hate people. I played Senior League Baseball since I was 35. I would play it now. I'd play it now for sure. I'd fucking rake. I would rake. I'd go to the batting cages like once a month, and I fucking crush the ball. Just fastballs, though. You throw a off speed or curveball in the dirt, you're going to get me. Changing fluid in my 10R80 this weekend. Curious how much clutch material there will be. The problem with changing your clutch material also is this. It's like a detergent effect. Okay. See if you're with me. See if you're understanding what I'm saying. Let's say your transmission is not having issues. Let's say your diff is not having issues. But you're like, let me change the fluid because it's been 25,000 miles. Then you change it. All of a sudden, your diff's not the same, the tran's not the same. Why do you think that is? Well, the way I look at it is this. If you happen to have clutch material bouncing around in your, not a lot, not an egregious amount, but a little bit, I think it's a friction modifier. Bear with me. Those little tiny particles in the oil can actually get in between the clutches and be abrasive and actually help with lessening friction. The moment you flush all that out, now you have brand new slippery fluid on worn clutches, diff, and transmission. And all of a sudden, your car is going to flare on the shifts until enough friction material works its way out to maybe lessen that effect. I've seen it so many times, it's not even funny. Would Motec offer ECU upgrade like that for you guys did on Black Bean? Yeah. Oh, for Gen 3 6R80, that was a LaFoxy. That is a custom harness that Senior made. Wonder if Chuck Wazurinsky would know anything. Window switch to make the second throttle body open like they do with nitrous? Exactly. But it has to be shut mechanically. So I might have to get a mechanical like Motion Raceworks. Oh no, then they'll slap their fucking logo on my door if I run a number. That is 0. Like let's say you have a mechanical throttle body. 0. I mean no leakage. Slam shut. Now I'm controlling everything with a drive-by-wire throttle body. And when I go, whoa, and there's the mechanical linkage, someone go, what? Just like vacuum, just like mechanical secondaries on a carburetor. Douchetown says, it has happened to me a few times. No material floating around. Can we get a hold of the guy who converted the Miata to free valve tech? Who cares? The material is a friction modifier. Every flush I've ever done has resulted in a new trans. I'll never do it again. Same. Well, if your trans is slipping, change the fluid. That'll make it worse because now it has no friction modifier. Flash the calf. So we have a new employee, right? And he thought he could pull rank on my shit. He goes, Alex, I'm trying to get like you. I want to challenge you to a calf off. And I'm like, boy, do you not understand? I was born with Puerto Rican baseball player calves, bro. Are you crazy? Like, I had to, bro, stop this behavior because you're gonna piss me off, and I'm gonna have to, flex these calves, and I don't want to flex the calves. That's the right side, just in case you think one leg is fucked up and the other. No, this is the right side. So, cógelo suave. Don't look. I want a peaceful life. I want to be Thanos after he killed half of the things in the universe. Just go up to a planet that's full of plants with a jacked up right arm and be like, bro, leave me alone. But then someone shows up and chops my head off. Love your talks on healthy lifestyle. You should be able to put the throttle bodies in series. World-class arms. not even close. Oh, never mind. You put them in series, they will work linearly together. I don't even know how to do that. Man, look, I understand people don't like read nowadays, but I 100% would buy a book written by Senior. The old clutch material acts like friction modifier and it increases the clamping force measured to a distance on the shift schedule, says Mr. 6R80. I'm just doing an old pen drop. Got to save some material. You should do way more walking, Papa. You gotta do a lot. You gotta do genetic modifying to fuck with my calves. I didn't name him by name. He's self snitch. Don't flush the trans fluid. Just drop the pan. It says Ale Al Husani. Is there any track plans for the Black Bean, or just gonna go chill? Continue to be a test mule. Junior doesn't care about that car at all, except to do like street shit. I think that car could legitimately be a badass 850 car and compete in 850 classes. And Junior's going to roll his eyes and go, I don't give a fuck about that stuff. So you need someone to push that, but the care level is not there. Gray Goose is a 660 car. Blue Goose, once it shows up, Black Bean is going to be for fucking sale. They don't sell nothing. They still got that Cobra sitting in the fucking corner, crying its eyes out every night that nobody turns it on. They got a Shelby GT500 there crying its eyes out. Nobody gives a fuck. They could have put a T56 in that thing 30 years ago. I might save the money pit, the black S550 that's in the back getting sunburn. Sorry, I'm late. I was talking with BMR about making new shirts to have their logo with a swastika. Wow, anti-Semitic. Kanye West showed up. If you've been following the news on him, he just straight up crashed out. If I win a cav off, will you hire me, trade me, and let me Lund tune cars remotely in Cali? Fuck no. Especially not in Cali. No way. I don't think that the Lunds trust anybody remotely but me. And this is why. I have proven that I'm not gonna, like, I could literally grab a laptop, go to Bradenton, and just like tell people, hey, I see your car's running like shit. Want to tune? And just like make $3,000 a night. That's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just saying they trust me enough not to do that. Now, you know what I used to do just because I was bored and single and nothing to do before the channel popped off? I'd go to Palm Beach International Raceway and I'd see if anyone was a Lund Racing customer. And if they needed free help, I would give it to them. And then I would then learn, because I was learning. Let's be honest. I don't think tuning, you'll grasp it for the first. Okay, you're able to build a file right away. You're able to build a boosted file right away, maybe within a month. You will not understand it for at least 2 or 3 years. And maybe say, okay. You need repetition. It's repetition. You need to see what's happening, diagnose it, ask questions. I used to just make adjustments based on what I saw until I started going, that doesn't make any sense. Let me Let me ask this guy some questions. Hell, today, do a smoke test. Son of a bitch. Take your injectors out. Son of a bitch. Injectors are a problem. Are you sure you got FIC 1440s? This is tuning like FIC 1000s. Son of a bitch. So once you get to that point, it's years. But in the interim, I would go to the track and tune Lund guys' cars, for nothing. BMR has hit me up about what he hates Jews, even though he is one of wow. Kanye is back on my playlist after all that. I'd like to learn the trade. Says Edo Martinez. You don't want to learn it. Trust me, you don't want to learn it. I offer Jews all my help all the time. And did you guys see I made my Schindler's List? Wow, he is on it. Only triathletes have those types of calves. Alex doesn't drive to work. He rides his bike. No, that's Bondo. El Verga. Gotta have some genetics if you had that. Gotta have some genetics in you that had some dude running through the jungle barefoot within the last 500 years. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's why they'll still struggle in the hood. And the crash out that is this guy is pretty ridiculous. And I guarantee this is Chris Sipple. He's a comedian, so he's trying everything and anything. And I think this is like his open mic night, and he tries some of the jokes here. And it actually goes pretty well. But yeah, so back on the throttle body stuff, if by the end of this weekend I'm not going to be able to solve it. It's going to be good enough, right? If I can drive it without crazy surging, without stalling, without any stupid stuff, and I have a linear-ish throttle, let's go to the track, right? I got a pulley way down. I got to find an overdrive, rear sheath overdrive that's 20%. I have a front that's 20%, but I need a rear sheath because the Magnuson is rear, and I need a 2.6 upper pulley, moon boost, maybe a 2.8, because I want to see how far I can get away with 6 rib. Because to do 10 rib in that car is pretty difficult based on how everything is configured in the engine bay. But I'll do my best to see how far I get with 6 rib. I don't think I can go 8 6 rib. I think I can go 950s, 960s 6 rib. But that's if I don't use a 2-step. If I use a 2-step, I don't think that belt situation is going to last long. What are your views on the JFK documents? They have all Israel all over them for some reason. So there has been this uptick in anti-Semitic stuff happening, and I don't know what to think about it because the care level is low. I'm not anti-anything. But it's there. So it is interesting, right? If you start looking at, JFK not wanting Israelis having access to nuclear weapons, you go, why not? If you start seeing what's the event where the Israelis shot up a U.S. warship, and they said it was a mistake, but people claim that it was to start a war against their enemies. And then it was in the 60s, I think. And then, a lot of people are talking about what's happening with Gaza and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, the care level is low, but it is very interesting to see it happen. He must have 2 computers. Heard you guys might need a new go-to fuel for systems. I know a guy. Dropping a like and I'll catch a replay in the AM F1320 all day. Yes, the USS Liberty. Let me USS Liberty. Because I just heard about it in passing. Why did Israel try to sink the USS Liberty? Israel bombed the Liberty as the spy ship had picked up evidence of Israel killing Egyptian POWs. Okay. I'm going to show you this. This is on Google. This is not me saying this, okay? I didn't know. Guys, you're going to get me into the Matrix. Why did Israel try to sink the USS Liberty? Israel bombed the Liberty as the spy ship had picked up evidence of the Israelis killing Egyptian POWs. Israeli bombed the Liberty because the American vessel had picked up the IDF's plans to conquer the Golan Heights from Syria, which the United States was opposed to. This was in December 26, 2024 from Honest Reporting. Interesting. Okay, so if they found evidence of Israel doing weird stuff and they got bombed and then they said, oh, we mistook you for something else, I get it. But again, guys, we're talking about a care level here, and I don't care. I care about why Mustangs suck. I care about the Mustang becoming tunable. I'm going to try to keep this a car-friendly podcast. If it gets into heavy politics and like Israeli stuff, it goes off the rails real quick. The viewership will go down or up. But I really don't have an opinion on any of that stuff. Exactly. Oops, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry we killed a bunch of Americans because we were killing Egyptians over here. Allegedly. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully I'm alive for the next episode after talking about Israeli stuff. So we'll see. If not, well, at least you'll know who did it. Today we talked about the UDRAGS race with the new Charger EV destroying the S650 Mustang, proving it is just the biggest dud ever. It is still performing worse in sales than last year, proving that without tuning, no matter how many discounts Ford gives it, if you cannot modify that vehicle, it's not going to sell that well. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Sunday morning for peasant chat. Talk to the peasants then, hang out then. We'll see what happens between now and then. Maybe we could do some more deep dive into some, JFK file stuff because it was 80,000 pages that were released. So there's a lot to go over. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you guys on Sunday. See ya. Bye.